James Maddison has come out and said he would like a chant from the Spurs fans, and he is really looking forward to the Manchester United game on Saturday. Reports are stating that Monaco are interested in Spurs centre-back Davinson Sanchez. Reports in Italy are stating that Javat Tanganga is wanted by Premier League clubs and Serie A club Inter Milan. Various reports are stating that Ndombele is now talking to Rennes about a possible transfer in this window. And reports are stating a deal is now close for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Now, let's start by talking about some fixture changes. Now, the Premier League broadcast selection process for October has now been completed, with a number of our fixtures rescheduled for TV coverage. Our trip to newly promoted Luton Town will now be a 12:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, the 7th of October, while we'll face London derbies at home to Fulham and away to Crystal Palace on Monday and Friday nights during the last week of October. So the away game at Luton Town remains Saturday the 7th of October. Kickoff time is 12:30 as stated. That one will be live on TNT Sports. The Fulham home game will now be on Monday the 23rd of October. Kickoff time 8 p.m. That one is live on Sky Sports. And the Crystal Palace away game in the Premier League is now going to be played on Friday the 27th of October. Kickoff time 8 p.m. That one is also live on Sky Sports. Spurs midfielder James Maddison has come out and said he's really looking forward to the Manchester United game in the Premier League at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday. He has also stated he would like a chant from the Spurs fans. Talking about the Man United game, he said, "I'm really looking forward to it. I cannot wait to experience a home Premier League match day as a Tottenham Hotspur player and perform for the fans and repay their faith and spirit that they bring by putting on good attacking performances." He then went on to talk about a chant and said a chant would be lovely. No matter how many times you've been involved in football and how long you've been in the game, every single time you hear your name chanted and sung, it's a heartwarming feeling that you can't really describe. So come on, Spurs fans. Now, a report has just been published by Yahoo Sports, and they are stating that Tottenham centre-back Davinson Sanchez is now a target for French club Monaco after he was made available for a move this summer at the right price. The Colombian international 27 is among the players who could make way this summer as Ange Postecoglou shaped his squad for his first season in the Premier League. Spartak Moscow made a £12.9 million bid for defender Sanchez earlier on in the window, but the player was reluctant to move to Russia, whilst Galatasaray have also shown interest in taking him to Turkey. The report also states that Monaco have now emerged as contenders and are willing to take Sanchez. It also states Spurs paid £42 million for Sanchez in 2017 after buying him from Ajax, and Spurs are expected to make a loss if he goes this summer. Now, Italian journalist and transfer expert Gianluca Di Marzio and a report from Football Italia today are both stating that Inter are evaluating Tottenham's Javat Tanganga among other Premier League defenders. Inter Milan are said to be monitoring Spurs defender Javat Tanganga as well as a number of other Premier League centre-halves, as Inter Milan plan to provide Simone Inzaghi with another option at the back before the end of the summer transfer window. Gianluca Di Marzio has stated that Tanganga is a player who is fondly admired by the decision-makers at Inter Milan, but as of yet there has been no official bid. The 24-year-old Englishman reportedly has options to choose from in the Premier League, but would prefer to hold out for a move to Inter Milan. Various reports in Italy today, including one from Football Italia, are stating that Maurizio Sarri, the Lazio manager, is now not convinced about signing Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. Now, various reports out about these stories today. These ones are from Team Talk. They are stating that Tottenham Hotspur are close to finally allowing Pierre-Emile Højbjerg to leave for Atletico Madrid, and another midfielder could also follow him out the exit door. Højbjerg has been pushing for a move to Atletico Madrid recently after spending 3 seasons as a regular starter in midfield for Spurs. The move to Spain would provide him with a new challenge, also including Champions League involvement. All state that so far Atletico Madrid have failed to make a bid that Tottenham have found worth accepting. It has led to the transfer recently being described as impossible, but there does seem to have been a breakthrough. Recent reports are stating now that Højbjerg is close to joining Atletico Madrid. To sign him, Diego Simeone's side would have to raise their €25 million bid, close to €29.5 million, which would be a compromise on Tottenham's €45 million valuation. One factor holding up the deal has been Atletico Madrid's inability to shift some of their players. Therefore, perhaps movement will still be needed before they can commit to a new package for Spurs midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. But if the claims from his native Denmark are to be believed, things could be heading in the right direction for his La Liga move. Now, also in this report, it talks about Ndombele, and it states that Ndombele is also attracting interest from abroad. According to reports in France today, particularly from Le 10 Sport, Rennes have begun talks about signing the Tottenham Hotspur midfielder. The report states that there is a chance that Rennes could sign Ndombele from Spurs on loan, even though Tottenham Hotspur would rather offload Ndombele on a permanent basis this summer. A move to Rennes would enable Ndombele, who alternatively has admirers in Turkey and Saudi Arabia, it is claimed, to reunite with his former Lyon manager. With only 2 years remaining on his current contract, like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Ndombele will likely be hoping for a new challenge that will allow him to revive his career at the age of 26. Neither Pierre-Emile Højbjerg or Ndombele featured in Tottenham's draw with Brentford in their first fixture of the new Premier League season. The former was an unused sub and the latter was out of the squad altogether. Now, my thoughts on all of these stories in today's episode. Let's start by talking about James Maddison. I tell you what, he has been a breath of fresh air since walking in the door at Tottenham Hotspur from Leicester City. He is going to be an exceptional player, in my opinion. I've got high hopes for James Maddison. The delivery, what he does on a football pitch, he is a superb footballer. He can do so much. There was so much excitement in that away end, and I don't want to repeat myself because I have said this before on this channel in the last couple of days, but there was so much excitement in that away end at Brentford. Every single time he had the ball, every single time he was over a free kick, every single time he had the ball at the corner flag, people were excited. I have high hopes for James Maddison. I think he's going to assist a hell of a lot this season, and I think he's going to score a hell of a lot as well. So really, really looking forward to seeing him more. The whole thing about the chant, I think that comes naturally, but now he's actually come out and said it to the Spurs fans. I have no doubt whatsoever that at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday, I think that there will be multiple songs, trying to be sung by hundreds and thousands of fans in that stadium. So that is going to be interesting. Let's come on to talk about Monaco now interested in Davinson Sanchez. I must say, I am gobsmacked. I am so surprised that Davinson Sanchez has started this Premier League season in a Spurs shirt. And let me put a little bit of context on this as well. He has had a tough time at Spurs, particularly in this last 12 months or so, being booed at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, at the end of last season. That was unacceptable in my opinion, but he has had a lot of stick from Spurs fans. I really, really did expect Davinson Sanchez to move on before this Premier League season started. But the performance in our last pre-season friendly away at Barcelona, exceptional. The performance when Romero went off early on in the game against Brentford, good performance from Sanchez. It's been a good week for Davinson Sanchez. However, I still think that Spurs need defensive reinforcements in this transfer window in the next couple of weeks before the 1st of September, when, of course, the transfer window ends. And I would still like to see Davinson Sanchez moved on from the football club for his own good and Tottenham's. Because I think that he needs a fresh challenge. I think that the football club need an upgrade. And that isn't being rude or disrespectful. I just want the best for my football club. And I think going forward, Davinson Sanchez isn't it. I think he knows. I think the fans know. I think the club know. I think the club are trying to get him a club. It's just whether it's going to be the right club and the right move. But it does go to show that we do still need defenders, because someone like Christian Romero going off injured on the opening day of the Premier League season, it goes to show where we are in terms of quality. You know, a couple of injuries, 1, 2, 3 injuries to this team, it could be a disaster. So we do need strength in depth. We definitely need defensive reinforcements in. And I would be very, very surprised if Davinson Sanchez is still a Spurs player come the end of the transfer window on the 1st of September. As will I be surprised if Tanguy Ndombele is still a Spurs player on the 1st of September. Spurs do need to shift a number of these players on. There's also rumours now about Jed Spence possibly going out on loan to a Championship side, although some Premier League sides are interested as well. That'd be an interesting one. Tanguy Ndombele hasn't been given any minutes during pre-season. I think Postecoglou don't fancy him. You know, we've seen and heard various reports about Postecoglou not being impressed with him, his attitude, his timekeeping, etc. He trained, you know, with the squad out in Australia, Thailand, Singapore. I was there to witness it. A lot of the time he was training with a small group on their own. Harvey White, Joe Roden, etc. were training on their own. But I think that Tanguy Ndombele, very similar to Davinson Sanchez, they need a fresh challenge. They need to actually, you know, not go out on loan. You know, Ndombele, in my opinion, does not need to go out on loan. He needs a permanent move. He needs that break away from Spurs. It clearly hasn't worked out. I think it's hell of a, you know, a big, big shame, because he has so much ability. I think every single Spurs fan, you know, on the planet wanted Spurs to sign Tanguy Ndombele, because we all saw the quality that he had or has. But it's just putting it into practice. It's putting it on the football pitch. And he has had so many opportunities under various different managers at Spurs, and it hasn't worked out. And sometimes I think you just have to say, it hasn't worked out. Let's get as much money as we can, offload the player and move on. This is a new era under Ange Postecoglou. I think it's fair to say Postecoglou, as did other managers, in fairness, Antonio Conte, etc., they've given people like him a chance. You know, they said it's a clean slate. You know, draw a line under what's happened before. You know, this is about the future. This is about the now. And another manager that he's failed to impress. Big, big shame for him, because I think he's an exceptional footballer, got great talent, but clearly it's not going to be seen by our Spurs fans, I don't think, in the future. So whatever people like Sanchez and whatever people like Tanguy Ndombele do in the future, of course, I wish them all of the very best. It's going to be an interesting one about Tanganga as well, because such limited game time. I think it was 4 Premier League games that he featured in last season. You know, as any professional footballer, you know, would you be happy with featuring in 4 Premier League games? You know, you shouldn't be happy with that. So I've no doubt that he will be wanting the move. It is just whether Tottenham Hotspur can accept an offer from a club that is acceptable. But I think that Tanganga probably needs to go as well, because you know, he doesn't get chances. You know, people like Davinson Sanchez, who are supposedly on the transfer list, Spurs are looking to sell him in this window, and Tanganga can't even get in front of Sanchez. So I can't see him getting any game time under Postecoglou. An interesting one as well is going to be about Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Of course, I said this a couple of days ago. The whole spine of the team under Postecoglou has changed dramatically from the starting 11, or, you know, the regular starting 11 from last season. The spine of the team has completely changed. Hugo Lloris, of course, no longer involved, looking to move him on to Lazio, although that looks doubtful now. Eric Dyer wasn't even involved in the squad on Sunday against Brentford. Of course, Harry Kane has been sold. And, of course, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, you know, he was an ever-present. You know, it certainly seemed, you know, he only missed a couple of games in the last 3 seasons that he's been at Spurs since signing from Southampton. And he was on the bench. Some people said he was sulking on the bench. it must feel very different. It must be very different for players like that because they're used to playing. They are used to being in the starting 11. They're used to having game time. So I'm sure if an offer comes in for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, particularly from Atletico Madrid, because Højbjerg apparently wants Champions League football, I don't blame some of these players for wanting Champions League and you know, the best possible European football to play, because people like that are used to playing in Europe. You know, at Spurs, I mean. Of course, he weren't playing in Europe for Southampton. But when you're used to playing in big competitions such as Champions League, you want it all the time. And I understand that. I really do. But it depends now whether Atletico Madrid will actually put the offer in that Spurs will accept. But I think there's a big couple of weeks coming up. You know, Ange Postecoglou has said many, many times, we've got a number of players to get out the door. But I'm more interested in the players coming in the door, because I still do question how much of that £80 million upfront money from the Harry Kane deal, how much are we going to spend in the next couple of weeks? I certainly hope that we go out and spend the majority of it. I don't know. I'm questioning that. I have questioned it since day one, since Harry Kane left. It will be interesting. It will be an interesting couple of weeks coming up. The gift or ban situation seems to have quietened down at the moment. Whether Spurs will actually put an offer in, no offer has been made on that. And of course, Richarlison, the Spurs website put out today that Richarlison is gunning for his 50th Premier League goal. So it would be an interesting situation again. Whether Richarlison can step up to the mark and you know, hit the ground running at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this season in the Premier League, and perhaps, you know, bang in 1 or 2 or even 3 goals against Manchester United. Wouldn't that be nice? Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.